This week on Transworld Sport.
And with their heads in the sky, we get high with the altitude runners in Andorra as they take on the Pyrenees.
Andorra is the location for the 6th round of the Booth Skyrunner World Series as the world's elite altitude athletes take a bracing 34-kilometre promenade through the Pyrenees. Ahead of them, one of the most technically demanding races of the year, as the race director explains.
The hardest part of the route is the climb to Coma Pedrosa, because the runners have just come from a climb of 1,400 metres, and then they have this climb of 2,940 metres ahead of them, which is all very technical. It's 900 metres of ascent in less than 1.5 kilometres.
14 kilometres into the women's race, France's Corinne Favre leads over the summit of the first major climb, the 2,700-metre Pic de l'Éléphant. Hot on her heels are Italy's Daniela Vassalli in second and Spain's Esther Hernandez third. With series leader Angela Mudge absent, all three women are aiming for their first win of the season. Vassalli has been the surprise package of this year's women's competition. The 31-year-old Italian mother of two works full-time and only took up running less than 2 years ago.
I started running on the flat. Then I started competing for real, over 5,000 and 10,000 metres. Then I steadily increased the distance. And then this year I decided to go for this type of race.
Vassalli has no athletic background apart from running at school over 16 years ago. Travelling to races with her husband and 2 sons comes as welcome relief from work.
I work in a hospice for the terminally ill. So from an emotional and psychological point of view, it's very stressful. I use running as a way of relaxing. It gets rid of my work-related stress, even if only for a little while.
Angela Mudge is the runaway leader of this year's Booth Series, but in her rookie season, Vassalli hasn't finished lower than 5th in her 5 races.
I still can't believe what's happened. I keep telling myself maybe I did well because the best runners weren't there. Whenever I finish well, I still think it's just down to luck. I should really be more rational about it all. I don't have that killer instinct, unfortunately. What I lack is that anger, that desire. I start the race relaxed, and I reach the finish relaxed. My attitude is what happens, happens, but maybe I should be a bit more determined.
On Pic de Coma Pedrosa, the main climb of the day, Favre has maintained her lead, but now Hernandez of Team Catalunya lies in second, while Vassalli has dropped to third. In the men's race, Spain's Agustí Roch, winner of the last round in the Italian Dolomites, is hoping to make it 2 in a row. But right behind him is a diminutive and determined Mexican. Ricardo Mejia is aiming for his 3rd win of the year and has lost none of his desire, despite almost 20 years as an elite-level altitude athlete.
I'm still able to compete at this level because of my devotion to the sport and my dedication. I love mountain racing, but I'm 43 and it's starting to hurt. I hope I can keep on running for 2 more years, but every time it gets more difficult to finish in the first few places. I still feel fascinated by the mountains. I'm looking at them right now and have an uncontrollable urge to climb up them. I want to see what's at the top, what animals there are and flowers. What better way to do that than in a competition in a couple of hours? That's what fascinates me. It's hard and difficult, but there's something that charms me and encourages me to go on.
As the non-elite runners struggle on the lower slopes of the 3,000-metre Pic de Coma Pedrosa, Roc and Mejia reach the summit together. The men's race will be decided on the long descent. Here, there's no stopping Mejia. He breaks away from Roc over the last 10 kilometres and opens up an 8-minute lead by the finish line. He covers the 34 kilometres in just over 4 hours for his third win in 4 starts. Roc finishes second, with Italy's Fulvio Dapit in third. Amongst the women, Esther Hernandez catches Corinne Favre after the Frenchwoman loses her bearings. With both women suffering from cramp, Hernandez proves the stronger over the final descent. Still in third place is Vasali, who's maintained her consistency. Hernandez takes an emotional victory, her first of the season, in 5 hours 2 minutes, while a depressed Favre trails in 2 minutes later.
I thought she was running ahead of me. Then I went down the descent and saw her running on the plain. She told me, I'm lost, so I overtook her.
Vasali crosses the line in third.
I started getting cramps on the third climb and I dropped back. I'm completely exhausted, but I'm happy.
In the Bouffe Skyrunner standings, Vasali drops from second to fourth, with Angela Mudge still leading. Mejia's third win in 4 starts takes him to the top of the men's standings, with 2 races remaining.